time, there was a handsome and charming civet cat. His name was Bawani. Bawani traveled far to the village of Tondo. There he met a beautiful civet cat. They fell in love and decided to get married. Bawani dashed back to his village where he collected his bride's wealth and began gathering his friends together to join him at his wedding. First, he visited his good friend Mbenga, the pigeon, who consented to accompany him to Tondo to witness his wedding. Then Bawani went to Nguma the python's house, and Python too was glad to be a witness. Bawani needed one more friend to join him in his trip to Tondo. He went to Ulu the turtle's house. Ulu said he was afraid he might be too slow and might hold them up in their trip to Tondo. But Bawani laughed and said Turtle might have a head start if he would start off early and meet them at the crossroads. Bawani gathered all his friends together, and soon Bawani and Mbenga and Nguma and Ulu were on the road to Tondo. They hadn't gone very far when the happy troops came upon a huge date palm tree. Mbenga, who loved date palms above all other foods, felt her beak begin to water. Oh, Bawani, the date palms are almost ripe. Couldn't we just wait a little while until they ripen? Bawani saw no harm in that, so the party rested while they waited for the date palms to ripen. And so they waited. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Finally, the date palms were ripe. Oh, how Mbenga ate. Presently, the wedding party, Bawani, Pigeon, Python, and Turtle, was off again on the road to Tondo. Soon they came upon a broad savanna. There Nguma saw the most perfect, the most fat, the most tasty antelope in all of Africa, grazing in the tall grass. I am sorry, Bawani, said Nguma, but I must have a little time to digest my dinner. You waited for Mbenga, and now I must ask that you wait for me. Of course, my friend, said Bawani. We'll be happy to let you digest your food. And so Bawani and his friends waited again. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, until finally, one summer day, Python could move again. And off they went again. Bawani, Mbenga, Nguma, and Ulu on the way to the village of Tondo. Our friends were less than a mile from Tondo when a terrible obstacle appeared in their path. It was an old tree trunk. Bawani jumped over it. Mbenga flew over it. And Nguma slithered around it. But Ulu, poor Ulu couldn't go over it, or around it, or under it. "Oh, Bawani," said Ulu, "I'm stuck here before this old tree trunk. We must all wait until it rots, if we're to go to Tondo." Bawani tried to object, but Turtle reminded him of how they had waited for Pigeon and Python. There was no arguing with that. So they waited, and they waited, and they waited. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Imagine the jubilation the wedding party felt when at last the old stump crumbled into the ground. And once again, Bawani and Benga and Guma and Ulu were on the road to Tondo, and this time they arrived at their destination. Bawani entered the village of Tondo and found his true love sitting near a basket in the middle of town. "Where have you been?" she asked tersely. Bawani told his love of the trials he and his friends had faced on the road to Tondo. "You waited for a stump to rot? You waited for a python to digest an antelope? You waited for date palms to ripen? Thank goodness I was smart enough not to wait for you." With that, 2 beautiful kittens appeared out of the basket. "Who is this fool?" roared the largest, meanest civet cat that Bawani and his friends had ever seen. And the beautiful civet cat introduced Bawani to her husband right before her husband showed our friends the pathway out